All right, it's time to talk about the lead pond. The new interface that Lofty has come out with for the people and the segments has actually opened up a great opportunity for the lead pond. I was recently in a meeting where some team members were discussing their um, experience, probably the best word to put, their experience working inside the lead pond for their team, and it was cumbersome at best. And what I mean by that is that you've got a lead pond, right? And so everybody's got access to this lead pond. And it's organized in some sort of a fashion. Typically, it's going to be organized by like import date, things like that. But long story short, everybody logs in, they hit the first person, and then they read, and whoever, that person is, well, Joe on my team just called this lead 2 hours ago. Next. Jill called this lead 2 hours and 45 minutes ago. Betty called this one. So you're starting to go next, next, next. And so what happens is your time that you've spent or allocated to call inside the pond, you end up spending 30 minutes just weeding through leads that have already been recently called. And it's not that there's anything wrong with calling a lead that Joe called, because maybe if Joe called that lead 2 weeks ago and didn't get anywhere with it, or that person didn't answer, I'll give him a shot. That's not Joe's lead. It's not Joe's lead, in my opinion, until that lead answers, right? And I talk to that lead. So I'm going to show you what we've done recently. I'd love to get your feedback on that. Of course, like, subscribe, ring the bell on this channel. If you like this content, if you want more information and more content just like this, but this is a big, big deal, in my opinion, for working your lead pond. So let's jump into it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my people. Now I'm not in the admin account. I mean, I have an admin account for my login, but I have a main team site and then I have my own individual. So I keep my leads separate from the team's leads. So I can function as a team member here, and I go under my people, and what you'll see is this is already here. I didn't do anything to put that there. It's just how it is. So that sits there, and I can just click on the lead pond, and when I click on it, it's going to pull it up. And you can see for this particular instance, there's 15,888 or whatever leads inside our lead pond. Now this first one you can see says do not contact, the others are in a pond. So long story short, I'm going to show you what we did. We took the entire lead pond and we created not a segment, but a pipeline called pond. So we put everybody in the pond that should be in there. Now, as we reached out to people who don't need to be reached out to, I move them to do not contact. They say pound sand, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a proponent of archiving. I'm not a proponent of deleting. I don't delete contact information ever. Len, why would you do that? You're a digital hoarder. No, because this person here, if they were to reach out to me again as a lead, say in 3 months, I want the system to already say, look, this guy's a waste of time, and I don't want to spend any time on it because it's going to re-import and it's going to go right back into do not contact. So I'm not going to waste any time on that lead. Now, if I would delete this lead, it's going to come back in 3 months, and now I've wasted time trying to chase a lead that's already told me to pound sand. Now, there's different opinions on that, but I'm not going to live in scarcity to saying I'm going to go chase some leads that don't want to be chased anyway. So inside of this, we've got right here our our pipeline is pond. So I put everybody in there. Now, what I also did is I created a segment called the pond. Now, why would I do that? So if I go to my segments, you'll see I have this segment called pond. Now, I've got it set for a 14-day reminder. So the idea is that because of the vast amount of leads that I have in the pond, I don't necessarily need any of these leads being reached out to more than once every 2 weeks. They're in the pond for a reason. They're probably a little bit stagnant. It doesn't mean they're not valid. It just means that when we were working them 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, they just weren't ready to do anything. And so I don't need to be hitting them up every single day when they're like, dude, like I'm not doing anything right now. Like, get off my back. So having a 2-week pace allows me to do that. So what we also did is we took and we filtered out. There's some other stuff in the pond that's a little bit maybe junk. And so I'm going to weed that stuff out. But the ones that I filtered out that were good, I put into the segment of pond. What does this matter? Well, what this matters is now as an agent, I just need to go into people and I created a view. So a view is a new concept. So before you could create filters and then you would do your thing and you would hit on the bottom, you'd say save filter. Now it's called create view. Same thing. So you create your filters, save the view. Sorry, so now you create the view. So the view I created is pond buyers. Click. Everybody on my team, because this is a team view, can click this. They just hit pond buyers, and now everything that shows up in here is, look, 7,323. These are all pond leads that have not been reached out to in the last 2 weeks. So I can just click on these and start calling. I could probably just sort by lead score and start from there and work my way down. I've got to filter out some of these sellers. Those are different. I'll put that in a different one. But you get the idea. I can just jump in here and start filtering off just based off of that, and start making my calls. So if I click on this lead, I can call them as a, here's this one, click this one, call them up. I know that because all I had to do was click upon buyers, everybody on my team, if I call this person right now, 5 minutes from now, a member of my team won't be able to because it'll disappear from the filter. So instead of teaching our agents how to filter inside the pond to find what they're looking for, we're basically going to just create those filters first, save the views, pin them to their top, call it a day. That's what we've done with a pond. I hope this helps. Reach out if you have any questions on this. I'd be happy to show you what we did. I'm happy to help you kind of funnel yours through. Like I said, I do a lot of work for hire. So if this is something you want us to take a look at for you, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to put a quote together for you. Catch you next time.